Okay guys, I'm gonna try to teach you how to use Blender to do a track. First of all, open a project AA to select everything, then delete. You don't want the camera and the light, or that cube for the matter. Then go create, and what you want to do is you want to plan out what you want for the track first. So you're gonna click plane, and just kind of like stretch it around. Let's put it like 2 there. And you want to copy that object. Why you're copying it is because you want to keep your floor and your actual walls 2 different objects. That way it's easier to manipulate. After that, you're gonna click the 2 edges, extrude up. Like I'm gonna extrude it like a unit. That's all I want. And then I'm going to go back there and select face and delete that face. So now we have an object that just has the walls and an object that just has the floor. So keep those there. You can hide them if you want. Just keep them in mind. What you want to do now is you're going to create a new NURBS curve. NURBS work by like each 3 vertices. Sorry, each 3 like edges form a curve. So each 4 vertices. And every time you add a new vertices by like extruding one of them, it just like creates something new. So I'm gonna create like a really simple layout here by using extrude and G for grab. And I'm gonna try keeping this mostly in the like 0, 0, 0 plane because it's easier. But I'm gonna like add a ramp eventually. So the way you want to keep shit moving in just some axes is by using X and Y when you select like grab, so G, and that way you can move them in the proper positions. So this last one I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to extrude it Z. So setting it to the top, and I'm going to also send it to like a little bit of an X so it doesn't get as steep. And this last one I'm just going to cross it over, extrude to here and whatever. And let's extrude to like here. Okay, this is a curve. All right, it's not very pretty, but hey, it's a thing. So the way we're gonna do so curves can actually display our stuff, we're gonna unhide those, is we want to go and add a modifier. We want to add an array modifier, which is basically gonna copy our object enough times until we have like the required. And you can see here I messed up. I put this in the like wrong direction. Like obviously by the orientation of the walls, you can see like, hey, that's not how it's supposed to go. There are 2 ways you can fix it. You can either like hop right now into the edit thing and rotate like around Z for 90 degrees. And that should fix it. Or you could leave that be and fix it like in the next step. If you want to fix it in the other step, you just add curve, and you have to do this all the steps, and then instead of selecting X, you would do Z. Sorry, like you test the other options until you find something that works. So this obviously doesn't look good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the last one, and I'm going to rotate, because this is honestly the best way to go about it. And I'm going to like just do that right now on this one. It's good to rotate on edit mode and not on global mode, because you don't want to like manipulate shit on global mode. Sorry, really important, do not apply modifiers. You want to keep them there, and you want to click merge on the array. Let's add an array to the other shape, and I'm gonna click curve, same curve. So now you can see we have like approximately, this is the length of the track. This is huge, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select both, and in here I'm gonna scale it down on Y for like 0.3. 0.3 sounds good. So I'm gonna select this one, tab added mode, scale on Y by 0.3, and now when we exit edit mode, you can see it's like, hey, this is a little bit better. Now it's really important that we add another modifier called the curve modifier. You click it, then you select the curve you want to do, and you will distort your shape on that curve. I'm gonna do the same to the other one. It's really important to not apply the modifiers, and then you can kind of like look. So if we look at this right now, there are some things we notice. First one, this is tilted. Like this has a twist to it. We might want to fix that. We should fix that. The other thing we notice is that this is really distorted. So the first way to fix this is by making sure your object is not super large on your x-axis. So I'm gonna scale that to like 0.1. So you can already see that my floor is way smoother. So I'm gonna do the same to the walls because they need to fit the same way. And now we have like a slightly better version. Another way to fix this, and you should use both actually, is to go into the curve you're using and bump up the resolution to 100. And you want to click bounce clamp. That will make sure the curve is like as smooth as it can be. We can, like, if you look at this, it's like not really suitable for a track. So what you could do is you could just simply select the curve, like select all points and scale them. Hey, there you go. Beautiful. We don't want to do that though. Let's try doing it the other way around. Let's scale every object we have by 0.5. The way to go about this like that, like the reason why I'm going about this like that is I'd rather have a really tiny object on Blender that then I have to like enlarge in Unity than having a really large object that I had to make it smaller. So some things you can notice. You can like off from the start, you can notice that these two are kind of off from the from each other. They have a distance. So what I want to do is I want to select the walls and just move them down. Ideally, you will want to see stuff, right? So you can see that I don't see the curve here in this edit mode. But to do that, you have to go into the modifiers and click this little box with the points. That means it will preview the edit mode as it's like as you are editing it. So round about here is good enough. Actually, I went a little bit over, and this is not ideal. So let's do it like that. That's perfect. I'm gonna uncheck that because I really don't like editing or my shapes with that modifier on. And I'm gonna uncheck it for both because hey, I don't like that. So another thing we notice is, why is this wall like this, right? We don't want that wall to be there. This one specifically is caused by this NURB curve. The angle it ended is too sharp, and since it is like the first part of it, you can't like actually lerp between like one rotation and the other, so it just hard creates one that's like messed up. So what I'm gonna do is just basically gonna create like a new control point, and you can see like, hey, that's still messed up, right? But like if you rotate, you don't even notice it's not there anymore because like this is an extra point and it fits the same direction, so it's not like something awkward. That's how you make like the end of the track smooth. So if we want to do an alternate path, it's important that we keep these two objects, walls and floors, separate because we want to manipulate them later separately. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fix the twist because our card can't handle these, and the way I do that is I select the curve, and all the points that I see that like cause the twist, so like this one is a specific one, I can go to it and press Ctrl T, and that gives me this little angle, and based on how much like I rotate it around the point, that's how much twist it will apply. So I'm twisting it to like counter twist the base twist, if that makes any sense. And you can see it's like getting better, but like generally this curve is not the best. That's why it has so much twist to it. So I will want to curve this out like this, I want to curve this a little bit out like that. This is definitely like okay for now. And this last one, like the impact I do on it causes that other issue in the end, right? So you want to make sure that your last point is also twisted. Oh, I selected the wrong one. There. It's also twisted. And that can like influence a little. And if it still shows it like this, the faces are obviously there and they shouldn't, just extrude and like give it like a little bump. This case or two things are really close. So I'm just gonna move them like that because we don't want to change the idea of the track, we just want to change how it actually ends to fix it. And now I'm gonna twist, not like that, this one, like this. And our track has way less twist, so this is more usable. So basically an alternate path is the same thing as this path. I'm just gonna create it real quick. I'm gonna create a new NURBS curve and I'm gonna edit it. I'm gonna make sure everything is like a little bit to the side. So I wanna like tie this point and this point. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna put this thing here. I'm gonna extrude it. I'm gonna move it like this because I want the entrance to be smooth. Do this. This last one here. Oh, sorry, not this last one. Like this one. I wanna kind of move it around. And I can do like whatever I want, right? NURBS curves are pretty useful. And let's say I wanted to do this, but the last point, it's better if it follows the direction of the track. That's like basics of the architecture of the track, right? If you just look at it, this is like not the best. Maybe if I move it like a little bit more like this. Yeah, let's take that. You can see here like this last part never meets like quite meets the center. You want to center that preview line, like that spine, on the center of the track. You can see now I have it like a little bit offset, so I fix that. Like, hey, that's way better. This one is also a little bit offset. It's just there. Now this is a good spline, not design wise, but like talking about the basics of Blender. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a different plane. I could use the same one. I would have to make a copy of it and that would create a new copy of the thing. But I want, like, let's say I want to make the alternate path a different material or a different kind of floor. Say I wanted that to be like a little bit like a pipe, right? So I'm going to scale it all to like 0.1 and then I'm going to make sure my X scale is 0.1, so I want it to be really thin. That's my new floor. So I'm gonna get out of there, copy, paste, like in the same position, select the two edges, extrude up 0.1, and this is like, this is tiny. So we'll fix that in a bit. Let's finish off with that phase. Now we have two new objects. There are new walls and floors. I'm gonna hide the other two because we don't want to see them right now. And I'm gonna do the same treatment. I'm gonna add array, go fit curve, select my new curve, click merge, go to a curve modifier and select my new NURBS curve, and hey, that's my new path, right? Looks pretty good. Let's go to the other one, array, curve, fit curve, no, sorry, not constant after that, merge, and boom. Now if you show both curves, you can see we have some problems. Hey, first of all, this is really small. Why don't we bump up the height of our walls, right? So I'm gonna select our walls. I apparently already messed them up. Okay, there you go. There, our walls. I'm gonna scale them up. And see, the scaling it's bad in this case because you are going to scale like all of it. I just want to move this up. Like, let's say I want the same height of walls. Why not? So now you can see I already have the same height of walls. That's better. But we have a problem. Our floor is too thin. I don't think that fits a car. So let's do this. We're gonna select both walls and I'm gonna scale on Y. And here scale is okay because we're doing it like with symmetry. So just gonna put 2. It's a little bit thicker. And I'm gonna do the same to the plane. I'm gonna scale it on Y for 2. And you can see now we have like a better path. We have this problem. We have those walls right there. We don't want those. So what you want to do when you are finished designing the track and you think you're good is you want to copy all your objects, and yes, all of them, paste them, click the copied ones and apply all modifiers. This is really important. If you don't apply, you can't do what I'm about to tell you to do. You apply all those, and then unfortunately when you copy a thing that has an array and a curve modifier, it will create new curves, so you want to delete those two because you don't need them. So just delete the extra things. I would go ahead and hide everything you don't need, and now we have pure objects that are just our new track. What you want to do is select all of them, all of those objects, and click tools, and sorry, I'm gonna go into like select one, select another, join, then select like another one, join, and keep doing that. You have to join 2 by 2, but like, hey, that's the way. So when you edit, you will see that like now all those objects are one single thing. And here we can see that like I actually created some issues, right? Like, hey, I don't want this here. If this was an actual track, at this moment I would instantly stop what I was doing and go back to that NURB, like this, the NURB 1, and make sure I move that up a little, because obviously it's not matching. But since this is just like a trial, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to try to fix it. This is not the ideal solution because 1, it's more work, and 2, you need to like be really competent to do it. So the way to do this, to like merge paths, is you want to select every face that's like not in the proper place, and a quick way to select like first to last is click the first, click like hold Ctrl and click the last. And you want to just keep deleting faces until you don't like have to worry about shitty faces anymore. And here's an interesting part. I don't necessarily want to get rid of all these faces on the floor, so I'm gonna keep them. But I do want to get rid of these, right? So I'm gonna delete those, and I'm gonna delete this little one. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start using the merge tool. I'm gonna select like edges, press W, merge at last, because that like I want to merge at the last point I clicked, right? Because I do, because I know I clicked the last point in the proper position. So what I want to do is make sure I'm selecting the right place here and here, and merge. This case is first because I clicked the where to merge first. You can see I actually messed up because I selected something that wasn't what I was supposed to. But I mean, good news is I actually need to do that later, so I'll just do it now. Doing this step is a lot of trial and error, and you should do it like once, rotate it around, like, hey, okay, this doesn't look like ass, I'm fine with it, then continue. You want to keep those like copy pastes available. You can see these two faces are not really like matching anymore with the entrance of the curve, so I'm just gonna do that. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna select all these edges like around here, so you can see they like almost match up to here, and this last one, and I'm gonna say merge at last. So now you can see I have this little like smooth triangle, right? That's good, because now I can keep doing this. Sorry, click with shift not control, and I can keep doing this, and I'll still have that smooth transition between one part of the track and the other. So if you just keep doing this, you'll have your track in a good state. It's important, like, I'm not doing it obviously, but I know this is working, but it's important to like get out of edit mode and kind of like, ooh, okay, this looks okay, I'm fine with this, let's continue. So this one you can see I'm going a little bit over. I'm usually getting the ones like before, but this one I think it will be better if I get a little bit over, especially because what's going to happen is I'm going to merge this and this. I'm going to merge it first, I'm going to merge these two. Oops. So clicking on Blender is a little finicky. You might notice that I freaking clicking the correct point, but it's not doing anything, and that's okay. It's probably because you're too close to one of the handle arrows. That way you just want to close like and click at them like another way. So this one, I'm just gonna do this. We have like a little wall there. Let's select all these and this one because they're really doing the same thing. And this, and now let's merge first. We have like no thing here. Let's merge this to F last. And now you can see we have the entrance of our branching path. So the reason why I told you to keep the other objects there is because now this object doesn't follow any rules. As soon as you apply those modifiers, you can't like just move the NURB and like, hey, this will auto update. No, that doesn't work anymore. So with this one, this other part, it's a little bit more tricky, right? You can see it's like offset. It shouldn't be here. So I don't think it's possible to fix this without like a major headache, but you could try, and I'm going to try. So what I'm going to do is go back to face mode, select these faces because I think those are the ones that are going to go away, and select like all these go away, and then these go away. So first things first, you can see that we have a shit ton of faces down here. I'm going to destroy all the ones that are like 100% out, and I'm gonna keep the ones like on the closer side here because we want that. So now I'm gonna select these edge and this edge, and if I press merge at last, I can see there's like, oops, this bumped up, right? That is exactly what we wanted. So I'm just gonna keep doing that, and you see like that I did something really stupid here. This is why it's important to like go back and forth, because it didn't look like I did something stupid, but I noticed now because I clicked something weird, and I was always checking. That's like the important part. So I'm going to keep this like that for now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start merging these. I don't want to have so many faces, so I'm gonna select like all these from like here to here, and then subsequently here to here, and I'm gonna press delete, dissolve edges. That will make them all into a single face. I'm doing this with like a lot of caution because I have no guarantee that this is actually going to turn out smooth, right? That's why this option, like dissolve edges, is actually pretty dangerous. You don't want to just abuse it. We can see here this part is kind of pointless, so I'm just gonna like delete that edge. We don't need like this face anymore, right? So in this case it's refusing to do that, so why don't we just merge it instead? That's a valid option. If you feel like your Blender is not behaving how it should and you have another way to go around it, just go. Okay, now we have another problem. We have this side to treat. This one I can't honestly like just go and like merge a bunch of faces like I did, so I have to go in like small steps, and I want to kind of like make this a little bit smoother with like my hands. It's not gonna change much, but it's an attempt. So here you can see like, hey, it's impossible to work. This is when you might want to switch to wireframe. Even though it's not helping a lot, you can now kind of see that we're doing this edge with this edge, and you want to merge them edge first. And how you can see like all these edges are pointless, right? Actually, no, we forgot about one thing. They all need to fit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this extra part here, and like all these are going to come to this one at last, and then all like these will come to this one. All these, oops, all these will go to this one, and this to this. I'm gonna go a little bit under on this one, but that should be okay. And like I really have to reinforce like this in you guys, because this is a terrible idea. I should not be doing this. I should not be going about this and like merging a shit ton of faces, because this is a bad idea. You can see how much like cover up work I'm having to do just because I didn't go back and adjust that. It's like, it's just gonna, I just had to change stuff. This is why it's also important to go and make sure you have a good version. What I'm doing now is I'm making sure I have mostly triangular faces, so it's not behaving well, and that usually means there's like a tiny ass face that doesn't belong. So I'm just gonna delete that. Sorry, not a face, an edge. So I'm just gonna delete that edge, and this is now not a face. So if we go out and go to solid, like, hey, this is void, what the fuck? So how do we fix that? We select all the curve, like all the edges, and press F, and it will try its best to create something. Here we can also see that we have like a weird ass thing coming all the way there. This was a thing I merged and I didn't check. So bad idea to merge that. Yeah, hell yeah. Terrible idea. Why did I do that? But no. Okay. Now we have something a little bit better, but here. You see this, right? You see this. The only thing you can actually do at this point is go to correctives, move, and like, God bless this function, but there's only so much you can do. Like, it's trying to fix it. It's not gonna be very helpful. I'm gonna ignore that. I know that's gonna cause issues. You can see from like how jacked this is, but I'm gonna go ahead and save that, and that should be like a good test track. Another way to go about fixing this might be click to triangulate. This will add triangles in your surface, and you want to apply. Now you can see I have way more faces. Do not triangulate if you are going to make more changes. This is the worst thing you can do, because it's going to make each face like 2, and it's going to give you so much work. So after that, I'm going to apply the correctives move, and I'm just going to try some values here. So here obviously didn't work very well, so let's try a subdivision surface modifier. And what it's going to do is it's going to get each surface that's like not really regular, and it's going to subdivide. And you can see this creates like some weird shapes. What it's trying to do is trying to make like all it can to smooth out these areas. So you don't want to go for values like higher than 3, and you might want to like switch between one and the other, like, hey, this one looks a little bit better, let's try with this algorithm, and then you keep like going back to correct this smooth. You that's like really your only option. Other smooth types will like not deliver what we want. Well, this is it. I think it's pretty okay. If anything is unclear, like most shortcuts I'm using is in the old Google Docs link, and I mean I'm here to answer questions, so I'll talk to you guys later.